The calling card creates a download-free connection to the end user. They do not need to download anything. They don't need to open a web browser or anything like that. It simplifies that process of getting connected. Now, more specifically, what we're here to talk about today is a new feature of the calling card called the calling card as a Windows system service. Normally, the calling card is deployed as a normal application. With the new functionality, we allow it to be deployed as a service, which enables the technicians to connect to the end users and gain admin rights without having to enter admin credentials. So it's a very seamless process. It removes the clicks, and I'll illustrate this all for you very clearly, but it does make that process significantly easier. Really, the pain points that this specific feature, again, calling card as a Windows system service, resolves is, well, so the pain that we see, a lot of extra effort for technicians, a lot of clicks for the end user, having to enter credentials, having to click OK on UAC prompts. That friction is a negative piece, and most organizations think that that's just the way it is, but we have helped solve for that. And obviously, the biggest pain point is that that technician has to manually enter credentials in order to elevate permissions at the start of every single remote access session. So the solution that we provide fewer clicks. It does streamline that join flow, right? It takes that time to connect down, and non-admins can update the calling card. So it enables organizations to connect to end users that aren't admins without having to authenticate every single time. So the value that adds, of course, is it removes some of the complexity. It does improve the technician experience and makes the connection process for that technician easier, right? I often hear in my experience that one of the biggest pain points is the connection process, where it's very involved and there's additional steps, and this removes quite a few of those steps. All of that, of course, will lead to faster resolution and faster handle times. Next slide, please, Katie. Perfect. So let's get right into it. I would love to show you around this new feature just to make sure that everybody understands the true value here. So I will share my screen. Perfect. So in order to illustrate this, I wanted to have two external computers up on screen so that this is very easy to understand. So on the right-hand side, I have a virtual machine that has the calling card as a service installed on it. My calling card is obnoxiously customized. I do that on purpose, right? My last name is Armstrong. I take advantage of that way too much. But you can add your own logo, your own icon, your own application name, and background images, header images. This is incredibly customizable. All of that just makes the end user feel a little bit more comfortable. Right? They see a brand, a logo, an icon that they recognize, and that definitely kind of helps set them at ease. So that's the calling card as a service. On the left-hand side, I have the standard calling card installed. Some of you may say they look the same. They do. They're identical. The calling card, it's an upgraded version of the calling card that enables it to run as a system service. But if you're using the calling card today, the process doesn't change. The end user still knows that they have an icon or an application that they can click on to enter the PIN code from the agent. Now, for any of you who aren't familiar with the calling card, what I'll do is I'm first going to illustrate the standard connection process, okay? Where without using the calling card, I think it's important just to understand that the process normally without the calling card does require a download from the end user. So I just generated a link here from Rescue. I'm going to paste that link onto this virtual machine. But rather than using the calling card, I'm going to use kind of that standard connection, okay? Where they click the link, this downloads an executable, as you see here. We see the session in Rescue at the top. All the end user has to do is click on the executable. That opens the applet. And now, in a second, we'll have a session here in Rescue. The agent clicks Launch Remote Control. The end user clicks OK on the permissions prompt. Not a difficult process, but there's a lot of steps. It's quite involved. But it does, of course, provide unattended or attended access to this endpoint, as you can see here. Now I'm connected and controlling this device through Rescue. So that's what we call ad hoc or attended support, but it's attended support with a download. And that's really what the calling card adds for value, is that it creates a download-free connection process that doesn't require a web browser, doesn't require a download at all. I'll close that session. So let's take a look at the calling card. Again, just wanted to illustrate what this looks like from a kind of a standard connectivity perspective. So let's close that. Now on the calling card side, okay, the calling card, again, what we see on the left is the standard calling card. So let's go ahead and connect to, and I'll minimize this just to make this a little easier. So I'll use the calling card to connect. Here in Rescue, I'll go to New Session, generate a PIN code, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste that PIN code into the calling card. Normally, this works very well if you're on the phone with the end user. Okay, they would enter the PIN code right on the calling card itself. They would click Connect. No download, no web browser. This establishes the session with Rescue. But here is the key piece. So you'll see here, at this point, I do not have admin rights because I have not authenticated as an administrator. In order to do that using the standard calling card, the agent themselves has to enter admin credentials. So I'll do that. Now this will accept any local or domain admin credentials. So they enter username and password. The agent clicks Restart Applet as a system service. Now on the end user side, they have UAC prompts. So the first UAC prompt is asking for consent, and the second UAC prompt is asking yes or no. Once they've clicked through those UAC prompts, the applet restarts, and now it's running as a Windows system service. Okay, you can see the agent is notified of that right here in Rescue, customer applet running as a Windows system service. Now I can click Launch Remote Control. The end user simply clicks OK, and I will be put into a remote access session, just like we see here. Now, just to clarify why this is so important is because anytime you need to do something on the remote machine that requires UAC, for instance, running the command prompt as an admin, the only way to see this UAC prompt is if the application you're using for remote access, in this case Rescue, is running as a system service. Otherwise, this is a blank screen, and you as the support agent cannot see it, cannot interact with it. Only the end user can see this. But by elevating permissions to admin, it allows agents to see and interact with UAC prompts, which is very, very necessary in most remote support environments. So that's the standard connection, right? While the calling card is incredibly useful, even in this mode, as a system service, it becomes even more simple. So let's take a look. Bringing up my other virtual machine that, again, I have running here as a service, I will do the same exact process. I will generate a PIN code. I will use that PIN code on my virtual machine, but again, this time using the calling card in system service mode. The end user enters the PIN code, they click Connect. This establishes the session with the agent. As you can see, there's now an active session here in Rescue in the background, but very importantly, and I'm even going to grab my drawing tools just to point this out, customer applet is running as a system service, and that happens every time. You'll notice I did not have to enter admin credentials. I did not have to authenticate as an agent, and the end user did not need to click through UAC prompts. Agent clicks Launch Remote Control, end user clicks OK on the permissions prompt. So to the untrained eye, that process is very similar to what I showed you at first, where they enter the PIN code, they go through the process, and then they connect. But for any of you who have dealt with non-admin end users, when you have to authenticate every time, this alleviates that process and makes the connection substantially faster. So just to reiterate real fast, the biggest change here is that when we're using the calling card as a system service, it removes the need for the agent to manually enter admin username and password during the connection process. One thing I do want to mention here is if you're using the calling card today, so if you have the calling card deployed out to the endpoints, and I'm sure a lot of you do, you will need to redeploy the calling card. The good thing is it doesn't change anything for the end user experience besides making it easier, but you will need to deploy the calling card with the correct version, which is the system service version. You can also deploy the calling card during an active session, and it allows you to push that out right from the calling card tab. You should have an additional option here saying install calling card as a permanent service. So if you're looking to test this as a one-off, if you're connected to a device, Windows device, you can push out the calling card during that session, and then it will be on that device. Additionally, the calling card is a fantastic security feature. The reason I say that is because the calling card does something called company ID validation, where your organization's calling card will only accept PIN codes generated from agents in your rescue account. So, I mean, I work at GoTo. I have quite a few rescue accounts. I could give your end users as many PIN codes as I wanted to, and they would not be able to use my PIN code on their calling card. So it is a very nice security piece in addition to making the process easier. All righty. Let's see, what else did I want to go through? So that's pretty much everything I wanted to demonstrate here. Just keep in mind, right? And actually, I do want to bring up Mac. So on the calling card side, Windows as a system service, which is what we're here to talk about, that is a Windows feature only today. We do have the calling card for Mac as well, which removes the download from that connection just as easily as it does with Windows. And for any of you who support Mac regularly, you're probably aware of some of the the steps that are required in order to support Mac, where you have to go into security and privacy every session and add the application to screen recording and to accessibility. The calling card on Mac alleviates that because it only needs to happen one time. And it can be used in the same way, where a PIN code can be generated and given to the end user.